Hello, and welcome to another edition of Coffee Talk with immigration attorney Brian D. Lerner. In this particular video, I'd like to talk about worksite enforcement. If you own a business or have a business and you have some employees working for you, you know that there are requirements that have to be done when every new employee comes on board, and in addition, when the authorization is about to expire of current employees, it is the responsibility of you, the employer, to make sure I-9s are updated and so forth. But sometimes, just like if you're a taxpayer and IRS calls and says we're going to audit you, which of course is never fun, sometimes if you're an employer, ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, will give you a nice call and they will audit you, and they will audit you to make sure that you are complying with the necessary procedures and that you basically don't have any employees that are illegal. And if they are illegal, that you haven't knowingly violated the laws to do that. So what are some things that you should do and should not do when dealing with this type of situation when you get a nice audit? First of all, you have a right to have an attorney with you. So you can certainly say that you would like them to continue or to delay a bit the investigation until you've had an opportunity to speak with your immigration attorney. Uh, Sometimes what will happen is they will come knocking on your door and expect to do the audit right then and there, which again, if you have an immigration attorney, you have a right to delay it and to say them. You don't have to open your books up and that very second. So some things that you should do, some tips that you should take care of as a business to help protect yourself. You should develop a transparent process for interacting with the employees during the audit. That should include communicating with employees um, that the employer is subject to a nice audit. Let them know it might happen, and if it does happen, then at least you told them that it could occur and they will be expecting you to get more information. Provide all workers with a reasonable amount of time to correct discrepancies in their records which have been identified by ICE. So you can't just call an employer and say, you need to give me this particular item right now or you're fired, okay? Give them a reasonable amount of time. Treat all workers the same manner during an audit without regard to where they were born or their citizenship status or their national origin. This means that all workers with like discrepancies who are asked to present additional documents are provided the same timeframes. You don't want to get hit with a discrimination lawsuit because you were basically profiling one type of employee over another and having them do more stringent requirements than the rest of your employees. Now you want to communicate in writing with the employees from whom you are seeking information. Uh, you want to describe what you need specifically, and you want to make sure you have a record of what you send them. You want to follow the instructions on the ICE notice and the instructions for Form I-9 when you're trying to correct the I-9 defects. I mean, it's okay that some of the I-9s might not be in perfect condition. What's not okay is if you discriminate in the manner you got it, or if you purposely and knowingly hired someone who didn't have status. Okay, now the other side of the coin is I've just gone over what you should do, but what are some things you should not do in an audit? Well, basically, you don't selectively verify the employment eligibility of certain employees based on their national origin or citizenship status on the basis of a receipt from ICE. regarding a notice of inspection. Again, discrimination. Let's say that you have employees from different parts of the world. Let's say you have 10 employees and 5 of them are from the US and 5 of them appear to be from Mexico. You can't just call up the ones that appear to be from Mexico and say, by the way, show me some updated eligibility requirements that you can work, and not say anything to the US employees. Okay, now don't terminate or suspend the employees without providing them notice and a reasonable opportunity to present valid I-9 documents. That presents two different problems. One, by terminating an employee right after you get an I-9 audit, it clearly shows that you knew that they were not legal, or you think they're not legal, and that could provide liability from ICE to you. Secondly, you could be hit with a wrongful termination suit from the employee. So make sure that there's no last minute firings and moving stuff around to make it look like you had complied. Don't limit the range of the documents that employees are allowed to present for purposes of the I-9, and don't treat the employees differently during the audit because they sound or look like a foreign national. I keep harping on that particular item, but that's a big no-no for employees when they're doing this. So, you know, all in all, there are ways of beating an audit, of beating an ICE audit and properly complying with it and not getting in trouble. You just have to make sure that you have a qualified immigration attorney that deals with business audits from ICE, because, like with anything, they may walk all over you if you don't properly protect yourself. Okay, more on the coming videos.